What is up, guys? Patriots here, and welcome! StarCraft 2. The first part sped up a bit, then there's the part that slows down where I destroy the other person's base and, fuck shit up. And then it ends, basically. That's the end of it. And I'm doing this today because I wanted to show StarCraft 2. I was going to talk about politicians over it, and I found all the more reasons to talk today. So the original conversation was about Games Radar had done an article. And it was about, the candidates to become president in the U.S. So if you're outside of here and you don't know who they are, I barely fucking know who they are. But, there's people, they want to be president. They're like, yeah, I want to be president. And Games Radar went and did, their stance on video games. And they went back and pulled quotes from, 2006, 7, 8, this year, whatever. Of them talking about games and their opinions on games and whatever. And, there was, one from Barack Obama saying, oh, well, get off your Xbox and go do something, or, whatever. And then there's, one from Mitt Romney where he's like, I think they're too violent and we should, put more restrictions on television and games and all this stuff. And I was originally going to talk about, why the fuck are these people wasting their time deciding what can be in a game or on a TV show or in a movie when they should be worrying about the, billions and trillions of dollars they owe other countries. And for that matter, all the countries are in basically the same boat. Europe's about as fucked up. I'm not sure about, Australia, Canada, or whatever. But most of the countries are billions and trillions of dollars in debt, and they need to fucking figure out a way to fix that problem. Now, personally, I'd say we should all just ignore the money we owe to each other, because we all owe each other a ton of money, and whatever. That's the end of it, right? Who really cares? You owe me $1 billion, I owe you $1 billion, and I owe that guy $1 billion, and I owe Japan $1 billion. Who cares? Just ignore it, and let's move on. Let's not worry about it. Let's worry about, I don't know. Maybe we should start over. All the countries should go, alright, you know what? Everyone has $0. Now everyone has $17 billion. Now fucking don't fuck it up again. But that's okay. They're obviously not going to do that. But so shouldn't they be worrying about fixing that problem? Instead, they're worrying about things like, oh, games are too violent, and Australia's finally trying to get it so they have an 18+ rating in their country, which, mind-boggling, first of all, and second of all, I don't understand Australia's rating board. They ban games from their country. Their ratings are kind of law, whereas in the US, if you don't understand the ESRB's recommendations, technically GameStop could sell you the M-rated game to, a 4-year-old, but the recommendation on the box is they won't, and they're in an agreement that they won't. So, to make sure that they stay with the ESRB and, stay under that rating stuff, they follow the rules. They don't break the rules. But technically, it's not a law. You can't be prosecuted for selling an M-rated game to a minor. Whatever. Now, another thing I don't understand about M-rated games is you have to be 17 to play them. I can drive when I'm friggin' 16. I don't understand why I have to be 17 to fucking buy a video game. But whatever. The point is, I don't understand why the government worries about that kind of stuff. And Australia really worries about it. But what I was listening to the Twitter people today. I don't know how you can listen to Twitter, but I was reading Twitter today. And there's been a lot of talk about this ACTA thing, and I didn't quite understand how far ahead it was until today. I understood that, there was talk about it, and I kind of thought of it more as SOPA, where it was being brought up, and it was, coming up. They were going to make actual decisions on it, starting now. Well, what I didn't realize is they'd kind of already made decisions. There's a lot of countries who have already made their choice in what they're doing. And I said on Twitter earlier, quoting as I read it, "Are politicians fucking on crack? What makes them think ACTA is a good idea? The U.S. said no to SOPA but wants ACTA's dick in their mouth." That's how I put it this morning. But, for those who don't understand what ACTA is, since the spring of 2008, Europe, the United States, Japan, Canada, South Korea, Australia, as well as others have been negotiating this agreement about copyright laws and, counterfeited goods. Basically, you'd have it's like a 3-strike, from leaked documents at least, it's a 3-strike thing where, you fuck up 3 times and you're fucked, basically. Now, I understand all the need to make sure stuff isn't stolen. I get that. Why should you be able to steal a movie? Why isn't that prosecuted the same as stealing a TV? I understand that, fine. I get it, Hollywood's owed their money for whatever it is they do. However, my first stance on it is, would people really be buying that movie? If they downloaded that movie off the internet, are they now going to go out, if you, make, so that can't happen anymore. You can't download movies illegally. Does that mean they're now going to go out and buy ticket to the movies every night and, you know, go see it at the theater? Probably not. They might see a few, but who says they weren't already seeing a few? I know there's some people who are, like, notorious, they will just get it free because they can, but honestly, you know, if they download a new song they heard on the radio, well, does that mean, you know, if they have a library that costs $4,000 of songs that they downloaded free, does that mean, you know, they're just gonna get, you know, in the future they're just gonna go buy the $4,000 worth of songs? Probably not. They're probably not gonna do that. So, what I don't understand is why they think this is going to help. It's not going to make you more money. It might make you a few. Maybe, I'm saying, like, if there's 100 people who download stuff illegally, obviously there's more. Maybe 25 of them will go out and buy stuff now, but there's still 75 people who are just going to go, fuck you, I'm doing this my way, I'm somehow going to get this for free. So, what I don't understand is, first of all, why the U.S. thinks it's okay to say no to SOPA and yes to ACTA. It's the same fucking bill, practically, written up in a fucking different language. It says the same goddamn thing you just fucking said no to fucking 3 weeks ago. Why the fuck would you think that's okay, first of all? That's completely ridiculous. That's like, well, you know, I didn't like apples last week, but I really could do for an apple right now. I could really use an apple. Why do you want a fucking apple? Like, I don't understand. Ooh, are you fucking unintelligent? Do you understand anything? Do you know what you're doing? Like, who makes these fucking decisions around there? Do you just, oh, well, you know, whatever. Let's fuck everyone over. So please, I'm leaving a link in the description to a petition. Please sign that. And please just say fucking no. Fuck these countries up for doing this.